What's up, people? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome to the first Cartoon Block Academy Google Plus Hangout live, baby. We coming live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, y'all? What is up? We're gonna get this party started. So who all we got in the chat box? I know my wife Zena has been talking to people already. Let's see, we got Kirk, Kevin, Gemma, you made it. You said you wasn't gonna make it. You know, you made it. You made it. Naeem in the house. Noel, Brandon. Who else we got? Ben. Yo, Ben, what up, baby? Ryan, you made it. Francisco. All right, all right. What else we got in there? I can't see the thing is scrolling by kind of quick. John, got you in there, John. Okay, Paul. What up, Paul? It's kind of cold on the East Coast, ain't it, Paul? Ben. He's here. Let's see who else we got in there. Let's see. I'm just scrolling up trying to see some people's names in here real quick then. And Raymond. I said Raymond in there. Okay. Yeah, it is. I'm sure it is. Kevin, there you go. Ray. What up, Ray? In the house. Derek. Yo, Derek, what up, baby? You made it, man. Cool, cool, cool. All right, we got some people, what, 24 people in here already then. So, all right then, cool then. Real quick, y'all, I'm just going to tell people in the Academy, the Facebook page real quick that we're live right now. So, we are live now. Boom. So, we are on. So, those who are late can just probably catch the replay later, but ain't nothing like being live right here. So you got to be live for this thing, y'all. Let's go ahead and do something. Okay, we got some questions that Zena had pulled so that I can answer a little bit later. And I might even answer some during the actual hangout. But for now, looks like only one person sent me their artwork, and that was Terry. I know Terry's in Wisconsin. Yeah, he's in Wisconsin. And I'm gonna real quickly go over that one and just kind of review it real quick and critique it. So I'm just gonna go over it, and that's about it then. And if y'all have any more questions, leave them in the chat box, and Zena will take a look at them then. Okay.
And then you'll be going over the.
Yeah, then I'll go over some more, you know, the female figure and stuff like that. So I'll show you how to draw a sexy babe today. You know, who need help drawing some women? We need some women in our lives. Okay. And in our comics, can't just be all dudes, you know. Renoir, he said, hey, it was night in my country, but I will be live for a moment. Okay. All right, then David. David, you made it in. David in Liverpool. Hey, y'all, David just had a recent win. He had his convention and sold some prints. David, that's big time, bro. You know, that's pretty big, though. Malachi. My client's running, she just showed. Malachi is a personal trainer, right? And you teach people how to get in shape, you know. So, hey, man, you got to go make that money. If the client is there and she's paying you, you got to go. So, can't argue with that, you know. But I'm glad everybody made it in here then. 25 people in here. All right, then. Let's go, man. So I'm going to change cameras real quick. Let me go ahead and switch over to my webcam. Let's see here. Make sure I got everything right. And if I mess up, y'all forgive me, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? My wife forgive me sometimes, though. You know, so I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? So
why are you looking at it like that?
I gotta be careful what I do. Huh? You know, so you're off the schedule. You gotta be on schedule, on time. You gotta get this and that, and she be keeping me on track, boy. You know. So let me switch cameras real quick. Then my Logitech webcam, and let me change my lighting on here. Can you turn off that light real quick, Zena? That overhead light. Yeah, turn it off. There we go. So, and save. There we are. All right, then. So, Terry sent this in, and Terry wanted me to look at his Deadpool. So I won't be redrawing this whole thing, but I'm gonna kind of go over it, and I'll post it up in the group also. So hopefully you're with me, Terry. I'm not sure if he is or isn't then. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kind of like just take a look at this real quick. He got this, drew the hand and the pose of my Deadpool sketch and the hand drawing that I did. early. That light is still bad. I don't like how that looks. Now that looks better. Yeah, there we go. How's it look on your side, Zena? It looks okay?
Mm-hmm.
Looks all right. Okay, then.
Yeah.
So, want to make sure it's in there and not kind of like too blurry for people at all.
Well, now it's a little blurry.
A little blurry now?
Well, maybe I'm a little bit lagged though.
Okay, man. I just want to make sure it looks kind of like almost right.
Before.
Really? It was better before? Okay, then. I want it, because if I add too much light to it, it kind of like washes it out, bleaches it out some. And y'all let me know how I look. Look in the comments. I mean, type in the comments. Let me know how it looks. Then if something wrong, y'all speak up. You know. So yeah. All right, then I'll go ahead and add some more light to it then and whatnot. Yeah. I just didn't want to like bleach it out or wash it out too much. All right then. So but real quick, just with Terry's drawing and stuff, the proportions, Terry, the proportions are kind of off right here. His hand is like too big, you know, compared to the rest of his body then. So what we want to go ahead and do, let me use my blue Cool Erase blue pencil here. What we want to do is go ahead and if his head is roughly this size, then you have to shrink or blow up one of these. And it's usually better to go ahead and shrink the hand, man, since everything is based off the size of the head. Always look at the size of your heads, guys, and then base that off the size of you, and base that the rest of the body in proportion to the size of the head. So Terry, I would bring his back out some more, bring his shoulders up a little bit more, like this, about right here. I bring it up some more, his back over here. If that's his head, his body, I bring his chest out some more also. And then we have his pec muscles coming under here. All right. And his hand should come, basically you drew the hand pretty decently, but I would bring it, the hand should be about right here though, and a lot smaller. And this is how the hand should be. Just a little bit more. So it's kind of like too long and whatnot. Now that takes care of the size of the hand. Now there's a bigger problem going on here, that your arm comes down too far, and where's his bicep and his shoulder going to be behind it? So you always want to think about, you know, where the other body parts that you don't see. Okay, so if we're going to see, for example, we could see through him. His other shoulder would be over here. His bicep would be right here. And his bicep is right there. And then his forearm is right here. And that would put his hand maybe about right here then. And you could bring this down some, like you could have his bicep coming straight down. It all depends on how you want it to be. If his bicep and his shoulder came straight down, his forearm came out here, and then his hand came about right here. So I'm going to use my marker so you guys can see what I'm drawing here then. So this is basically what you want. Let me go with my thicker Sharpie here real quick. So his other bicep was right here. His shoulder muscle. Then his bicep came here. His forearm came up here. And then his hand came about right there. So you guys can kind of see that then. You always want to make sure you draw the body parts that you don't see. It is very important, okay? And this is how you want your drawing to be, Terry. All right, guys, always keep that in mind. Even though we can't see it back there, you want to make sure everything is in proportion, okay? So hopefully everybody can see that a little bit better, okay? And other than that, yeah, just fix the body proportions, but make sure you draw through the figure. Just lightly sketch it out to make sure it's correct, okay? Don't just draw just the hand and then just his face and chest right there. You want to make sure the hand is properly, you know, in the proper relationship to the rest of the body. All right, then. So let's go ahead and get started, y'all. And I'll go ahead and post this up in the group too, so you know the rest of you guys, and make sure that Terry sees it as well. So Zena, will you remind me about that later on? Yeah, my wife will kindly remind me about it. So, all right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into some sketching. And I finally figured out a new trick with my webcam. I can like zoom in with the webcam without having to actually physically move the camera. So that was pretty neat. Didn't know I could do that. So just to make sure I'm in focus, can I see Terry's drawing one more time?
Sure.
I just want to test it out, make sure I'm in focus when I start drawing. But you guys can see that pretty clearly, correct? You can see it okay, pretty clear. Let's see here, I'm gonna delete that. Everybody's okay. All right then, cool. All right then, and that's what we have then. So let me get back up there and focus and in camera.
They can see it.
They can see it. Good, 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 good. Let me zoom out and make sure that everything is there, good to go. I'm gonna tape it down to make sure that I'm not just moving all over the place and whatnot. So a little bit of tape here. That way I'll know that I'm staying in the proper orientation in. So I can't look at the comments right now, but everybody tell me, what's the temperature where it is where you are right now? What's the temperature? Is it cold? Is it hot? What's the temperature? What's it here? It's like, what, 60s?
It's rainy.
It's raining. Yeah, it's raining today over here in LA, guys.
It's in the 60s, I think.
Yeah, 60s. And what's the temperature where you are? Is it freezing outside? Is it snow still on the ground?
63 degrees Fahrenheit.
63 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, I know some of y'all in the UK and other parts of the world, it's like y'all in like Celsius. I'm going to sharpen my pencil real quick, guys. So.
People are saying 32 degrees.
Ouch! 32 degrees.
40 degrees, 20 with wind.
Woo! Y'all hurt my feelings with them temperatures.
71 degrees Fahrenheit. Where are you, John Martin?
Yeah, John, where you at? Are you here in California, John? All right, then. So let's go ahead and get started then. Everybody get some paper and pencil. And we're going to go ahead and get this party started then, okay? All right, so I'm going to draw just a sexy chick, all right? And I want you guys to draw along with this because I want to see your drawings in the private Facebook group, okay? I don't care if it's good, bad, crappy, garbage, doo-doo, doo-doo brown, doo-doo brown. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. But I want to see it in the group, okay, guys? Make sure you post it in the group. So, I can look at it and see where you guys kind of went off a little bit. Also, I want you to be creative as well. So you don't have to feel like you have to draw exactly what I do. You do not have to draw exactly what I draw. Just kind of use it as a rough guideline, okay? All right, then. Let's go ahead and get started then. So let me draw on this sexy female. So we're going to start with, I have to start with the chest, okay? Let me go ahead and zoom in here so y'all can see that. Make sure my finger's in this area. And I want y'all to kind of look at this. So I have to draw the chest first. And I have to just go ahead and start it with like some like egg shape. Okay. I'm going to draw a little bit darker then so you guys can see what I'm doing then. So a little egg shape, okay, and this is going to be her rib cage, okay. This is like her rib cage, okay, and it's the egg shape, and I'm going to draw the center line of it right here. Okay, this is the center of the egg. All right, and then the bottom part of her rib cage, I like to kind of like cut that bottom part out. Okay, we can kind of see where her rib cage is. All right, everybody with me so far? Nothing hard, nothing complex, nothing different. Just draw the egg shape, okay? And then onto the side, we're gonna kind of like draw her an overlapping circle for her shoulders, okay? And I want like this shoulder to kind of come down. She's gonna have her shoulders at a slight angle, okay? So I'm gonna draw her other shoulder in there. Okay, everybody with me so far? I could probably zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see. Okay, But make sure that this shoulder right here is overlapping a little bit, okay? And this one just touches on the side, just kind of just touches there for a little bit. Then we're gonna go ahead and at the base of her her neck right here, I'm just kind of just drawing her little neck, very thin neck. Women have thin necks, you know, unless they're like super bodybuilder types, you know. So, and then we're gonna put in her head. Let me come up so you guys can see that more. Let me come up. Okay. And her head should be able to like fit, you know, inside her chest. Okay. So not the same size as her chest, but it should be able to fit inside her chest. All right. So let's see here. Just kind of a rough head shape. You know, egg shape again, once again. Nothing fancy. Okay. And I have to go ahead and put in her center line. This will curve down. And then in the middle of that, you're going to put her eye line. And halfway down her nose line. Make sure it's curved and it's not straight across. It should be curved. Okay. And then her mouth line right there. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Everybody with me? Looking good, looking good.
Ben's asking, how come no motion gesture lines?
You can do the motion gesture line. I'll cover that later, but I want to kind of give you guys a starting point, Ben, at first. Dan, you're asking about the gesture. Yes, you can do the gesture first if you want to, but I want to kind of give some of you guys a starting point to go from there. We can go ahead and do the gesture then. So let me go ahead and back it up, and we can do the gesture. That's a really good question, Ben. I'm glad you asked that. A really good question. Let me zoom out, get my camera controls. Okay. So now, Ben asked about the motion, meaning the gesture line. What that does, those of you who aren't familiar with it, you want to go ahead and give your figure a certain dynamic action line to go with. So since we have her head and her body here, normally what I would do is I would normally just lightly sketch out a circle for her torso area and then come down to her hip area, just a little bit lower. If you guys can see that, I'm kind of drawing it lightly. I may have to draw a little bit darker so the camera can pick it up. All right, this is her hip area. Now her gesture is the center line that goes kind of like from the base of the neck, and it's a curved line. Okay. And this is the gesture you want to give your character. Okay. This is the action line that you want him or her to be in. And it's mainly the line that goes with the curvature of the spine. That's your gesture. You will make sure the gesture is always based off the curvature or the contour of the spine. And that's basically the gesture right there. That's it. That's her action line. You want that in there. If you want to go ahead and add the arms, we can do the arms, you know, like this. I'm going to have her arms coming out here. And that's it. That's all her gesture line. That's all her. She's basically a stick figure, but that's the main action line for her. Okay. This is the purpose of a gesture line is to make sure you draw your figure based off this emotion. A lot of people, especially a lot of amateur artists, they lack this emotion in their characters. It doesn't have that curve. They'll just draw a figure standing straight. There's no bending of the spine. There's no bending of the legs near the knees. The arms are just dead, you know, and the chest and the hips are dead. You want to make sure you have this kind of action line in it. I believe I showed this. Whose drawing was it? Gemma, I believe that was yours, wasn't it? The vampire guy that you drew when he was like lunging out, he was walking out. I think I still have that drawing. I can, here we go. Yeah, the action line. I have a few of them here. Here we are. Gemma, this is yours. This was the character that you drew that I wanted you to push the action line a little bit more. This would have been the action line for your character. It was the vampire character of yours. Then the other one I had was, I forgot, whose was this one? Was this one yours, Ben?
Gemma was saying yes, that is hers.
Okay, whose is this one? I forgot whose it was then. But you want to push more of the action line here on the curvature of the waist, when like the stomach area is coming out a little bit more. I forgot whose this one was. You want to push it out some more, coming out in this area. Okay, push it a lot more. This is fine, nothing's wrong with that, but this pushes it even more. You want to push your figure. When I say push it in the salt and pepper, push it real good. Anyway, but yeah, you want to go ahead and exaggerate it a little bit more. This is art. You can go ahead and don't push it too far, but you can push it some. And this one, whose was this one again? I've forgotten. Was this one? Y'all help me out. Who had the Spider-Man toy? Was that Ben? Also, I think that was Ben. I'm not sure. But notice how I had in Ben's right here. I wanted him to go ahead, if it was Ben or whoever it was, to go ahead and push the line. Don't go off use the toy as a basis, but then curve the body. Make sure the body, the torso area comes this way, but then the legs curve that way. You see what I'm saying? Make sure the legs curve. The toy is just here as a rough guideline. You can draw the toy, but then curve the body. Okay, curve it. That's what I mean when you hear me say push it. Push it means push the spine, bend the spine a little bit more than what it already is. And trust me, that will make your figures that much more dynamic. Okay then, so let's go ahead and go back to our figure. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more. Come down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and draw her hips in here.
Ben said that was not his.
That wasn't yours, Ben. Okay, whose was that? I forgot whose it was. You know.
Nobody's claiming it.
No one's claiming it? Okay, then. So we're going to go ahead and draw like a circular. Well, I already drew it then. You want to come down for her circular hips. Before I go, that helps you guys out with proportions. Let me come out drawing the gesture line when you have a character that's standing straight up. Okay. Grab a sheet of paper. I'm going to grab a sheet of paper here. I'll grab this one that we use real quick. And go ahead and get a sheet of paper and draw it straight. Draw a line. Draw a line going across from her head. This is going to help some of you guys out with proportions. Go straight across from her head, okay? It's a very thin line I drew up here. You guys probably can't see it, but make sure you just draw straight across from her head, okay? Very thin line. Now we're gonna like come straight down, using this paper again, and draw another thin line straight down. All right. I doubt you guys may or may not be able to see that. You guys can see it because I can see it. Hopefully you can see it. All right. Now her head. We're going to go ahead and draw another guideline, kind of come across. You don't have to be exact. You don't need to get the ruler out and measure anything or nothing like that. Okay.
Kind of faint.
It's kind of faint. Okay then. But you guys follow along with me, okay? Follow along with me. So go ahead and draw another line coming out from her chin, going across a light guideline, and mark it really hard right here. That's one head length that she is. All right. Now we're going to take that same space and just take your fingers and see what that is, and then double it. Okay. You don't have to be exact. Just kind of just roughly estimate it. and then do it again going down that line, okay? And then again going down that line, okay? From her head to her crotch area, that should be roughly 4 heads tall, okay? Roughly, all right? Like I said, you don't need a ruler. You ain't got to measure exactly. Just kind of like, see here, I overlapped the number 3 and number 4, all right? But just roughly, that will give you, this is the center part of her body right there, where her crotch is. That's 4 heads. Now we're going to continue going down, and the rest of her body will be 4 heads tall as well. So from there, you can kind of just take what we have here, take your fingers from the top of her head to her crotch length, freeze your fingers, and just move your arm down, and that will give us the part where the heel of her foot should be. All right, so mark that down here. This will be the heel of her foot. And you can go ahead and put in the heads if you want to. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, that's roughly what she's going to be 8 heads tall. All right, 8 of her heads. And that should help some of you out with proportions. All right, everybody with me so far? You all's drawing. We haven't done anything hard just yet, so everything's still pretty easy. All right then. So let's go ahead and move down her body then. So we're kind of going to go ahead and connect her waist to her hip area. It's going to come out here. Let me zoom in so y'all can see what I'm doing a little bit more. Come up some. So we're going to connect her waist. And I want to go ahead and kind of put in her thighs. Now her thighs will come about midway, that second head right here that we drew. This second head and going across. And if I'm never in camera, y'all let Zena know in the comments. I'm going to try and remember this, make sure I'm in camera as I go up and down. So this second head right here, you know, which is
on
below.
The bottom, right? On
the bottom, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So her knees are about right here. These where her knees will roughly be, all right? So I want to go ahead and put in the basic shapes of her thighs, which are like cylinders. Okay. Gonna put in roughly a ball to represent her knee area. And most people forget to draw the knees. They just kind of draw just the thigh and then the calf muscle. No, the knee is important too. Then we're going to draw her other. I'm going to kind of put her crotch area in down here, almost drawing like a bikini line almost. And it's her other thigh will come around here. And just the basic shape of it, okay? Just the basic shape. And don't worry if you don't have exactly what I have here. It's just kind of a rough exercise so you guys can kind of get the major, you know, points of drawing the female figure. And a lot of people have been asking about drawing the female figure, so here it is. Okay, now we're going to have this leg kind of extruding a little bit further away, so the knees will come a little bit lower. This is kind of like a perspective thing. Her knee will come a little bit further out. Okay, and let me zoom out so you can kind of see and come down so you can kind of see a little bit more here. And now we're going to go ahead and draw her calf muscle. And remember, we said her heel should go on this guideline, the bottom of her heel, okay? And that's the rough guideline that you need. So we're going to kind of like connect it, okay? And her heel's right there. And I'm going to kind of have her wearing high heels. So kind of just come down over The heels that you don't see women wearing hardly at all, because they always take them off. My feet hurt. Ain't that right, honey?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, then. So, and that's how her heel will look right there. Remember, this is the rough guideline. You don't have to be right on the guideline. Just make sure you're not too far from it, okay? So, and that's her calf muscle, her knee up here. So now the other leg, it's going to go a little bit further away than what we gave on this line, because just for perspective's sake, we're going to go ahead and make it a little bit longer, like it's coming out towards us. So we're going to have this leg coming here and have her calf muscle about right there. Okay. It's still roughly with the other calf muscle, just a little bit longer. Just like the knee was a little bit longer. Calf muscle, and then have her leg come down. Okay. It's going to be below the other one, okay, because it's coming towards us a little bit more, just for perspective's sake. And I'm going to kind of draw like a, make sure her ankle comes out, her foot comes down, and going to have her foot come to like a point. All right, everybody with me so far?
Yeah, Ben says this is awesome. You make it seem easy and logical. Love it.
Cool.
He said mine doesn't look as good, but I understand that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You can look back at the videos, Ben, when I put the replay up and whatnot too. And I might even do another tutorial on this, just to, something a little bit more slower and in depth, you know, with each body part separately. If you guys want to see that, let me know. So there we go. So this foot will come towards us a little bit more, and it will break off the line that her high heel was resting on. Okay. All right. Don't worry about fine tuning your drawing too much. Just kind of just draw along with me here. All right then. So we got her legs in there. And notice how everything flowed with, and we're going to back up here. Everything flowed with that gesture line that we drew earlier. Let me zoom out so you can see it. Down. There we go. And everything flowed with that gesture line. So does she look like a woman so far? Okay. If anybody says she looks like a dude or resembles a dude, then that would break my heart. Okay. So yeah. So notice how the woman just has like her muscles aren't defined like a guy's muscles are. She's very soft, feminine, and just kind of just flows. Okay. Flows. And notice how we have her legs coming in this S curve formation. Your legs should be doing that too. Also, get your sheet of paper, okay, and put it up next to her hip area. I'm sorry, her thighs right here. If you go straight up and down, you're going to notice something, okay? I'm going to draw another vertical line, okay? When you're drawing her body, this is one way to make sure that your figure is in line. Everything should go behind her thigh right here. Notice how her leg does not come out. Her toes don't come past this vertical line that we drew. So where her thigh starts, it curves an S curve away and it comes back towards it, but it never passes that line, okay? And then for her line over, her gesture line over here, it just goes further out, all right? But this vertical guideline kind of makes you keep your legs in check and you don't go past it and whatnot. So let's go ahead and keep on going here. Let me zoom back in. Let's go back to her upper body.
A couple of people, some people are asking about the feet.
The feet.
Saying let's work on the feet, and then Gemma says, is there any chance you can draw feet in flats? Those are her kryptonite. Feet
in flats. Yes, we can cover that then. I can cover that in like a full-on tutorial then, feet in flats then. The thing about it is that a lot of comics don't show people barefoot. They always show them in boots and stuff like that. So if you want to just grab like some pictures of women models, you know, walking in high heels and boots, that'll be a good way to start. But yes, we can cover that, guys. We can cover it.
And just FYI, that Gemma said that the, oh, where is it? That those drawings she actually gave over, the Spider-Man toy was Spencer and the other drawing was Mark, she said.
Mark. Okay, which one was, oh, okay, Spider-Man was Spencer and this one was Mark then? Okay, I'll put that down here. Mark, we have two Marks. Mark's Fitzpatrick. I'm pretty sure that they meant that, yeah. Mark, and I'll write Spencer's name on that one. Spencer Smith. Yeah, Spence. Okay, then I wrote their names on it. That was also I know for future reference. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. All right, then. Let's go back up to her upper body up here then. And I'm zoomed in so you guys can see it. So her, let's go to her chest area. Now, her breasts are gonna rest. Breasts are gonna rest. I did that on purpose, so I know it. One thing before we do that, I need to tell you guys about something. One of the key things of making a woman sexy, okay? Let me zoom back out. I want to make sure I cover this. Okay. The shoulders and the hips are always going to be at opposite angles. So her shoulders starting out, remember when I said I wanted her shoulders to be like a slight angle? You guys see that, right? The slight angle. The hips will be opposite. So whenever you see a woman in a sexy pose, Google some images of models and, you know, in bikini model runways and how they stand and how they look. The shoulders and the hips are always at opposite angles. So if this shoulder is coming down, then the hips will be opposite to it, and they will be roughly like this. Okay, this is what you want. They're always at opposite angles. So if a woman wants to look sexy, all she has to do is just bring her shoulder down. Usually she brings her hips out, and just naturally when her hand is resting on her hip, that hip will come out to support the hand that's resting on the hip. So always keep that in mind. To make your woman look sexy or in a sexy pose, you just go make sure the shoulders and the hips are coming into each other and they're at opposite angles. Now bringing out her, let me go back to up to her breast stand. So the breast will rest just, notice how we did the, cut out that part of her rib cage right here. Well, the breast will kind of rest along with the angle of the shoulders. They will rest around this area right here, okay? And depending on how big or how small you draw your woman's breasts, up to you. So I'll go ahead and draw something here that's kind of like decent size, okay? Real quick, let me go ahead and connect her arm, I'm sorry, the side of her body here. Go ahead and add this part in there, okay? Her lateral or latissimus dorsi muscle, her lats. Go ahead and draw that in there. I'm going to kind of bring this down. Draw that. And now for her breasts, they're going to rest on this guideline that we drew. Let me zoom in. Yeah, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Wrong way, and zoom in some more. There we go. So her breast here will kind of draw just this circle. Just keep it a simple circle. And it will fill up this area right there. Okay. Then the other one, remember the center guideline. So it's going to be on the other side of the center guideline that we drew earlier. Still kind of resting on that guideline. Make sure that this guideline for the breast is parallel to the guideline for the shoulders. Kind of coming around here. And in this one, we're kind of seeing the side of the breast. Let me erase some of my drawing here so you guys can kind of see. I think I have too many lines on here. And sometimes your artwork does get messy. So you have to go ahead and erase. Okay. So I'm going to erase using my kneaded eraser, just sweeping out some of the lines here. And I want to see you guys' artwork as well later on in the group. All right, there we go. That looks good. So now with this one, it's going to be falling like a bulb, like a water balloon. That's basically what a woman's breast is. It's like a water balloon. And I'm going to draw her areolas, which kind of rests right smack dab in the middle, right here. Okay. And then the other one on this one is going to be off to the side, slightly. Okay, so it's like a 3/4 view of it. And then the nipple right in the middle of that. And then the other one kind of like over here. Okay. And you can go ahead and give her any kind of like costume you want later. And that's it. And that's her rib cage. Now going out to her arms, we're going to go ahead and give her some over some more. We'll go to this arm first. We had her shoulder in there. And I'm going to erase some of the guidelines for a quick second so you guys can see what I'm actually drawing. The arm comes down here, and the elbow, this is a quick rule for the elbows. The elbows kind of stay around the rib cage area. This is the bottom of her rib cage. So the elbows will stay around there. You don't want to make them, you know, go beyond that. So I have her arm coming out, and then we're going to have her hand coming, her lower arm, forearm coming down. And then give her arm some thickness right here. And that's just the basic shape for that. And we're going to have her hand resting on her hip. So it'll be an open hand. For right now, I just want you to do this. Just draw a tiny like block on her hand. Okay. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what I just drew. Just a tiny little block on her hand. And your block should look like this. I'm going to draw a little bit bigger, so it should just be a little block like this. That's all it should be. This is the top of her hand right there, and this is the side of her hand. And now over here, we're going to draw like the fingers, you know, coming out, okay, like that. This is all I'm drawing, this little block right there, little block shape. Okay. But I don't want to draw the fingers just yet because I want to draw her hips, and I want you guys to see what I'm doing there. Okay. So let's go back over and draw the other arm real quick. The other arm will come over and go ahead and draw through the breast. You don't have to stop. We can go back and erase later on things that we don't, lines that we don't need. Okay. Keeping in mind the guideline for the rib cage that we mentioned earlier. Just the basic shape of the arm. Make sure the arm is tapered, meaning that it's thicker, closer to the elbow, and then the forearm thins out when we get close to the wrist area. And knowing these simple curves of the human body is what figure drawing class will do for you. Real quick, how many of you guys have ever taken a figure drawing class? Zena will let me know in the comments. Who has taken a figure drawing class? For now, we're going to go ahead and put in a little circle indicating her hand. I'll have her holding a staff. Because figure drawing class will teach you a lot of like curves and subtleties.
Ryan says I have.
Of the body. Okay, Ryan's been one.
Bryce says I did. Naeem says I need to.
Yeah, do that, Naeem.
Paul says I have. Bryce says I did.
Mm-hmm.
John says not a class, but I have access to a workshop here.
Yeah, I believe, John, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
Dave says he's still trying to find some. He's using the internet for now.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk says I'm signing up for some classes. Francisco says I did.
Okay, well, good then, because figure drawing classes would help teach you this, the small subtleties and curvature of the body. Just as those small, like, you know, like the arm has to be thicker here and thinner towards the wrist. And that's what you want. Okay, let's go ahead and go down to those sexy hips. Let's come on down here. Okay, guys, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the hip area right here. Let me come down just a little bit more. Okay, then. So for the hips, originally we drew this, you know, egg shape for the hips so they can be wide. The thin waist is coming down here, and the woman's hips will come diagonally out. So we're going to kind of draw her hip out. And hips, you can draw them two ways. Let me erase some of my guidelines here so you guys can see what I'm doing. You can draw them just curved straight out right here. Okay, that's fine. And then you can draw this one just coming straight down. I've seen it drawn this way numerous times. Or you can be a little bit more anatomically correct. And by that, what I mean here, a woman's pelvic bone is in proportion is differently than a man's. This is what gives her the hips. For the top of her hips is what you do. She has this like dip in it. Her pelvic bone comes up, down, and then it comes out to her thigh. Everybody see that? You can draw that curved line that we did before to start your drawing out. But then you want to go up here, put that kind of point in there for her upper part of her pelvic bone, and then come down to her thigh. So basically you want this kind of shape coming out. It's going to come out, down, and then out again. Okay, and that's how you want it. You can draw it the simplified way, which is, I know, like people like Bruce Timm, you know, from the Batman the animated series and Justice League animated series, he draws his females with just that simple curved line, and that's his style, and nothing is wrong with that. It's art. You can do what you want. So I'm giving you guys the option. You can go either way with it. Now for the other side, since she's facing like a 3/4 front pose, we see a little bit of her side hip as well. So this side won't be as pronounced as this side right here. So this side over here will have that same dip, but it'll be more subtle. And then it comes out. And this is why I didn't want to draw her fingers yet, because I wanted you guys to see how her hips are, how the shape of her hips coming out though. Everybody with me so far? Who's learning something new? Or is this a complete waste of your time? So, who's learning something new? Who feels like they're walking away with some new information, and who wants to see more, you know, stuff like this in the tutorials? Because I'll definitely be doing a detailed version of this in the Cartoon Block Academy, so you guys can see there.
Paul says always learning. Kirk says learning. which is all new. So Paul says a very good refresher. Brandon says learning.
Great, great.
Learning a lot. Mike says learning. Maddie says learning lots of new things. So yes.
Good, good, good. And then her belly button comes around, or it's around just below that egg shape that we drew. It's kind of about right here. This is her center line. Center line of her chest came out, comes down, and then goes around to the middle of her crotch area. Always stay curved. Think of her as having dimension. So her belly button's about right here. And then these are her abs. We kind of draw like a line coming around here then. So we can draw a little bit more faint because we want her belly button to be pronounced. Kind of just a simple curve. Okay. And then coming down here to her crotch area, it's going to simply come. Remember how the guideline that we drew earlier? It's that 1, 2, 3, the fourth head down, the bottom of that fourth head, that's where her crotch is going to be. And that was the purpose of having these, her head shapes on the side, was to give us a rough guideline of where it goes. You don't have to be exact. Don't pull out a ruler and start measuring because you'll get caught up in measurements. But go ahead and just eyeball it when you have her head shape and then count down from there. So let me sharpen my pencil real quick. And we're going to go ahead and put her crotch in there. And then you're going to have it come up diagonally. Okay. And I'm not drawing a straight line. This is a slight curve line. It's slightly curved. Okay. And her crotch is going to slightly curve down. And going to have her other line come up here. Okay. Just slightly. Remember, this line has to be diagonal. Women don't have anything down there like men do. Okay. So this should be going back. Okay, there we go. All right then. Like I said, once again, guys, yours doesn't have to look exactly like mine. You can be a little bit, off, as long as you have the rough guidelines in there. Okay. And now coming down to bringing her thigh, continuing down with her thigh. We're going to kind of get into her knees. Notice how when I draw, this is how I normally draw. I like draw, erase, draw, and erase. Okay. Let me come down so you can kind of see a little bit more of her anatomy. We're going to bring her thigh coming in. And this will go into her knee area. Let me pull out a little bit more so you guys can kind of see this. Okay. And then her knees will be about here. You don't want, make sure you do want to draw space for the knees. The knees are about here. And we're going to kind of see the side of her leg. So this is the knee area. Let me erase some more so you guys can see my pencil lines. And this is the side of her leg. All right. And the knees, you don't have to draw any like super detailed things for her knees. Her knee is basically, looking at it from the side, it will start from that oval that we drew. And just drawing this simple definition. And then around here, just draw that. That's all you need for her knees. You don't need anything else for that. You want to keep a woman's, body as little lines as possible, few details as possible. Okay. And then up here, you're going to have where her, she has a little small, her muscle that comes that protrudes from the inner part of her knee, and it's going to come ever so slightly up this way. Ever so slightly. Okay. Now going on to the other leg, it's going to look very similar. Going to have her thigh come back here. And anybody tired so far? Y'all still with me? I know we've been on here almost an hour. Everybody okay? Anybody got to go?
Some people have had to go, but they'll look for the replay.
Okay, cool then.
Academy.
Cool then. How many folks still with us?
20.
20. Okay then. Good then. So you're going to have her inner thigh right here continue back to her butt area, but then have this overlapping thigh muscle come in here. And it will continue down to her knee. I'm going to erase some more so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. And for this knee, it's going to just come out. I'm going to draw her thigh in here a little bit more, darkening that line. And then we're going to put in a simple line for her knee, and then boom, something simple right there for her kneecap. That's all you need. You don't need anything else for the knees. And let's go ahead and go down and continue her calf muscle. And the legs are just about done. I mean, that's all we're going to be doing for the legs. Let's continue on down, clean this drawing up some more. Let me erase some of my guidelines here. And your drawings are always going to be your draw, erase, draw, erase, draw, erase. Okay, so that's all it's going to be. And going to kind of continue the leg. Keep that overlapping muscle, thigh muscle that comes down. And this is how you can make your woman look sexy by she has these like big calf muscles that come out and then they curve down. There's something about that curve in a woman's lower leg, her thighs going down to her lower legs that make her extra sexy. It's this curve that you have here. I know a character who has that big time is, who remembers Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit? They really pushed those proportions on her to make her super sexy. And this is what they did. So, and that's all for that one. I'm going to adjust this leg down here. I mean, her foot on her. I'm going to bring her heel a little bit below that guideline. I'm going to break the rules that I just told you guys. You don't want to break too many of them, but, you know. Looking better right there. I just feel like I need to give her more space for her ankles. That was all. And we're going to kind of have her put in her ankle. I'm sorry, her, what do you call that? The ankle bone. Yeah. Ankle bone right there. And simple point for her heel. That's all. An ankle bone, that's all you need. Nothing else. Okay. Now coming over to her left leg that's protruding out. We're going to bring this one down. This calf muscle is wider. And this one coming out. Okay. Ankle bone. I think I should draw the ankle bone a little bit wider. And then her foot, and then the back of her heel will kind of come curve in. It should not go out. It should come kind of curve slightly in. All right. And a little bit lower than this heel. And that's pretty much it for that foot. And let's go back up to her. We haven't touched her face yet. Let me clean up this leg a little bit more. And you guys can clean up your drawing, you know, a little bit more if you want. But I want to give you a starting point to go from. Let's see here. Let me zoom out. How's it looking so far, guys? Do y'all like her? She look okay? She look all right? Everybody still with me? Y'all still learning some stuff? And if yours doesn't look just like mine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Now I'm going to go back and finish her hand right here. We had her hand on her hip. Yeah, let me zoom in there. All right. Oops. So I'm going to kind of erase slightly her hip area that we drew. All right. And that little small box that we drew earlier, okay? And this might take some practice, guys. Don't worry about it if you don't get it on the first try, okay? And it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. My wife just giggled. She said something's funny. Who said something funny?
Well,
I do not allow funny stuff to go on in my Hangouts. What's up?
So Ryan says, looks great. Love the way you drew that foot. John says, looking hot. Brandon says, she looks okay.
She looks okay.
Rich says, she'll not be the first person asked to the prom.
Not be the first person asked to the prom. That's crazy, y'all. Yeah. But it takes time. And guys, the way I learn how to draw women is just Google images and looking at other comic book artists. That is it. That's all it is. And you take real models and you just exaggerate them, make them a little bit cartoony. Just make sure, just as long as you make sure that they're based in real life. Okay. So with this box right here, we're going to bring her hand up. Okay. Draw this line here. And you're going to take this box and cut it in half. This is the halfway mark right there. Everybody with me? This pencil mark I have right here, that's the halfway mark. I'm going to put two of her fingers over here. Okay. All right. And one finger is behind the other one. Her fingers are very tapered off. They're very thin. They're going to taper off towards the fingertips. Okay. And then we have the other one will kind of like, this is the halfway mark, okay? And this is the side right there of her hand. Oh, and one quick thing I forgot to draw on here. The curvature of her knuckles. Her knuckles should follow, all hands should follow this curvature pattern. You want to make sure you have that curved line. Make sure all the knuckles, the mid knuckle on the fingers, rest on the same curved line. And then we're going to have her pinky finger just kind of come down here. Okay. Let me erase a little bit more so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. All right, everybody with me so far? And then we're gonna draw in her hip over here. So I'm gonna bring her hip out wider to kind of touch her hand, touch the butt part of her hand. So really we just drew three fingers, the middle finger here, the ring finger, and then her pinky finger here. So screenshot this right now if you need to remember this for later on, okay? And then her arm, once again, it's gonna be, this is the butt part of her hand. It's gonna come back here. Her wrists are thin. Her arm is thin by the wrist area, okay? Gonna put in a slight little curve to indicate her, what's that, the side of her elbow. Let me move the camera some. Come up some more. Just very slightly, a curved line to indicate her bicep. She's not a dude, so you don't have to draw those like big bulging muscles. Okay, and we have the slight curve on the back part of her arm. It's not a straight line. If you want it to be a straight line, you can do that. Like I said, there are artists who do that kind of thing, and that's entirely up to you. Okay? Entirely up to you. So, looking good so far. Y'all seen all the guidelines and see my thought process behind it. And now we can go up to her face. Let me put her hand in here.
Do you want to take a few minutes just to answer some other questions and then come back to her face?
Okay. Y'all want to do a few questions right now? I'll let y'all decide. Should I do a few questions right now? Y'all a few questions about?
Well, some of the questions that they posted before.
Oh, the questions that we posted before then. Okay, then. My wife has the questions in. Let's go take a quick break, y'all. And let me switch cameras, okay? I'm going to switch cameras. And so y'all can see my lovely face. Let's pause for a second. Cameras, Logitech. Take a break, y'all. Y'all can get something to drink real quick. So Zena will look for the question, and I will get something to drink. So, all right, y'all.
Ready? I
am here, and she will ask the question, and I will drink some coffee. What's up?
Okay. So Eric asks, is the best way to get better?
Turn on the light real quick then so you can see me. Other one. There we go. The other one. Oh, okay, that's the other one. That's right. That's right.
Eric says, best way to get better, the action tutorial over and over, or practice eyes and the mouth and the head over and over.
Who asked this?
Eric Rosberg.
Eric. The best way to get better?
Yeah.
Okay. A real quick way to get better? Yes. Do the action tutorials over and over. Another way is to look at action poses online. You can find some action poses online, Eric, of just muscle guys, you know. Look at bodybuilders to go ahead and lift up muscles and stuff like that, and look at their muscles and trace those muscles. All right, y'all, trace muscles of bodybuilders doing stuff. Just trace those pictures, and tracing it will help further your understanding of how the muscles interlock and weave together, and the bones and all that stuff. Not really the bones, but the muscles themselves. So trace pictures like that over and over and over again, and then draw them, copy them, and see how well from tracing it you can then copy. It ain't got to be exactly, but just close to it. You know. What's next?
Ben says, do you see yourself working alongside some students to create a new comic or animation headed by yourself but created by your students, and help them get in the door of the industry?
Okay, Ben, so you want to go ahead and make a comic? If you guys are serious about making a comic, hit me up and via Facebook Messenger. I mean, if you are serious, I mean serious. I don't mean like it's a quick hobby you want to do for like a month or 6 weeks and you're done. But if you are serious about trying to create a comic book or work on your portfolio for a specific thing, send me a Facebook message and you and I can chat about it. But yes, I am willing to work with some people, but you have to really be serious about it, okay? My time is valuable, okay? So, but yeah, if you're serious about it, hit me up via private Facebook Messenger and we can chat, and I can get more of an idea of what you want to do, and I can help give you some tips and tools and some guidelines to follow. So yes.
And so that would answer the questions for Ryan, Ryan Miskiman, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Ryan asked that also. Okay. All right.
Rafinsky.
Mike. Okay.
Ben, and also Raymond asked. So all of them, that's your answer. If you want more information about comics and kind of getting it out there.
Yeah, getting out there. Yeah, hit me up, guys. Hit me up via private Facebook Messenger, and we'll have a private chat about that. I need to get a feel for how serious you are about getting in the industry. If this is your lifelong dream and your lifelong, goal, and not just a quick hobby, you want to like just do it and then drop it. You get bored, you get frustrated. Because seriously, guys, drawing ain't for everybody. It really is not. It's not for everybody. Some people just want to just play with it and then put it down. But then it goes to some people who are serious and they want to, like, you know, use the money they make to feed their family. This is going to be their career. Like, this is not like a put down thing. They're going to be doing this until they're 80 years old, you know. So if you're serious about it, hit me up via private Facebook Messenger and we'll have a chat about it. Okay. With another question.
And just so you know, Evan will push you, so make sure that you are ready.
Yeah, I'll push it, and I may not be nice either. So it's like, you know,
make sure
so
you're gonna do it. That
if you're serious about it, I'm willing to help people who are willing to help themselves, and that's the honest truth. I found myself sometimes pushing people in the past, and I was doing all the pushing. They weren't even pushing themselves, you know. So you want to push yourself to do things like that. Okay, you want to push yourself. All right. And I'm there to encourage you and push you further and to give, kind of like a mentor does. A mentor does that. A mentor pushes people and challenges them and gives them information and sees how they use it. And it's a back and forth relationship, you know, but the mentor can't be doing all the encouraging, all the pushing, all the checking in on you and all the, you know, it is a relationship. Okay. So all guys, hit me up. What's next?
Okay. Let's see.
Like my Batman cup. You know.
Yinka says, how do you draw capes and cloaks?
Capes and cloaks. I could do a real quick tutorial on it. But real quick, an easy way is look at your toys. You got any Batman, Superman toys? Just take some pictures of these, okay, and just trace them. I mean, hold them up to a certain light or lamp in your room. If you get the right lighting and effect that you want, just trace it. Trace the folds in it and whatnot then. But a great way, even better way to draw capes and cloaks is to get a cape. Get a blanket out the closet, put it on, you know, or a sheet, and ask your family and friends to take some pictures of you, whatever pose you need of the cape. You're covering your face up and whatever else. Have them take pictures of you, and then you go ahead and draw the exact wrinkles and folds in it that you have. That's a great way to draw, to start out right now today, drawing capes and cloaks. But if you want to see an actual tutorial for it, let me know in the Facebook group, and I'll go ahead and make one for the Academy. What else you got?
All right. Let's see. Spencer's asking, how can I make my character more constant in the way his head and hair look? I can't ever seem to make them look right.
Ah, okay.
So to be consistent in how they look?
To make your hair, your character look more constant, looking the same as you draw them over and over again, you have to create what they call is a character guide. What is it? Make a character guide. La 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 la. I'm trying to think about it. A good one I saw recently. Who asked that question again?
Spencer.
Spencer did. Character turnaround model sheet. Yeah, Spencer, Google this. I'm going to type this in the chat as well, Dan. You want to Google character model sheet and then type in the character's name. Okay, so Ryan said it down here. I see a model sheet. Yes. So more specifically, it's a character model sheet or a character turn around. Okay, type that in there, and then after that, type a character's name. Like type in character model sheet Hulk, character model sheet Superman, character model sheet Naruto. Okay, so the character designers had to first draw the character in the same head, but in different poses going around. So front view, 3/4 front, and then profile view. Once you draw that and you're solid with that, then you print that out, put that on your wall. So whenever you're drawing that character, you're making sure that you look at that model sheet and you draw him over and over in the proper proportions. But you first have to figure out that look of him, front view, 3/4 front, and then profile view. And that's what animators do. Character designers do that model sheet first. Then we send it to Korea, that model sheet with the storyboards, and they animate from that. And the way that we make sure that they stay on model is by they have to follow that model sheet. So they're not making up their own way of how to draw the Hulk, you know. What's next?
And that's a good segue. Paul had asked, Evan asked, he said, at Marvel, do you work mostly traditionally or digitally, and with what program? So you kind of answered
yes,
a little bit.
Yes. Well, we use that. We do the storyboards at Marvel on the Cintiq. Some of you guys have a Cintiq. I think, Joe, you have one. Who else has a Cintiq? Adrian, who else has a Cintiq in the group? The Cintiq is basically a big monitor that you can draw on. And the storyboard artists and character designers draw. Storyboards are done in the program called Toon Boom. I'll type it in here also. Toon Boom for storyboards. And it's a Cintiq is expensive. You don't have to get it. I don't recommend people getting a Cintiq unless you honestly are already making money with your art. If you're making money with your art, then you will get that money back. So it's an investment in your future. So yes, you can get one then. But if it's just a hobby, I don't recommend you get one, you know. So, but if you got that kind of extra money lying around, then sure, go ahead and get it. I should have one now. I've been putting it off forever. I'm just too lazy to go out and get it though. But yeah, you can go ahead and get one if it helps you. And then character designers draw the character turnarounds in Photoshop. So Photoshop for character designers and Toon Boom for storyboard artists. And we take the character designs and the storyboards, ship it to Korea, and they draw the pencil, you know, flip animation page by page in pencils. They do it traditionally. They still do it traditionally that way.
Okay. Pablo asked, where can you buy a toy like the Iron Man that you have?
My Iron Man.
What dimensions or what
size is it?
Size?
This is a oh my goodness. This is a Marvel Diamond Select. I'll type it in there, guys, in the chat. My Iron Man is a Marvel Diamond Select. So Paul asks, so pre-production is only done in the US? Yes, Paul, pre-production is done in the US. That's production that's done in Korea, and then it comes back to us and we do what we call post-production. So there's pre-production in the US, production is done overseas, and then post-production is done back here in the US, where we do editing, sound effects, you know. But this Iron Man is my a Marvel Diamond Select figure. That's my Iron Man. And I have another Iron Man, but he's more articulated. I forgot what he was called. Who did this one? This one has more points of articulation. So I forgot what he was called. Exo, this is like a Japanese company that made him. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, but this main one right here, I reference him more. He has less points of articulation, but I like his design, his paint jobs a little bit better. You know, so I like him, that my Marvel Diamond Select figure. What else you got?
Well, Jimmy Hart, I think he's talking about the Cintiq, but he says he has an XP pen and it's cheaper, or
X what?
XP pen.
XP, is that Marvels? I mean Marvels. Windows XP, Jimmy, you got them? XP pen is cheaper. Okay, I don't have an experience with the XP pen, Jimmy. So, is it any good? Let me know how good it is. Next question.
I mean, those are pretty much them for right now.
That's it. All right, guys. Any other questions? I'm gonna go ahead and get back to drawing. We're gonna finish up this chick. Hit that like for me, then, honey. Thank you. And let me go ahead and.
Oh, it's X Pen.
Oh, X Pen. Okay, X Pen.
Wait, I'm so confused.
Oh, X Pen. Okay.
XP Pen.
XP Pen. All right then.
Okay.
Now,
right,
Jim, is the XP Pen? Is that the actual tablet? It's like a tablet. And if so, does that tablet work with Macs? Let me know. Somebody who Brandon said something good in here. He said he recommends your local comic book store. Local comic book stores carry these 7-inch figures. So he's right about that. I got mine from, I think I got this one from a comic book store. The other ones I ordered online, but comic book store is a good place to go and look and get those 7-inch figures. And I got some at the Disney store. They sell some as well. So go to the Disney store also, guys. Hey, Ty is up in here. Ty made it. He made it up in here. All right, then let me go ahead and get back to drawing, boys and girls. Switch my cameras here. And
as you're doing that, Jimmy says it looks like it's like the Cintiq. It works with both.
Okay, cool, then. Jimmy, how much is it? How much is that pen? No, the XP or XP pen, X pen. And if you can, share a link, Jimmy, also in the here in the chat. Like share a link to the X pen in the chat right here. Go to Amazon or something and share it with others so we can all kind of see
$300 to $400. A Paul says between $300 to $400.
$300 to $400. Okay, then.
And Jimmy says he used it for the Flash and Aquaman color.
Oh, okay, then. That's how you color Sean's Flash, then. That's cool, then. Now, what program are you using to color, Sean? Photoshop or Sketchbook? What are you using? Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Where do we leave off at? Let's go back to her other hand. Excuse me. And can I zoom in here on her hand? Yes, let me zoom in. There we go. So her hand, let me erase some of this hand a little bit. All right. And the hand, let's think of it, look, we're gonna put a block out here. So coming out, I guess let's do a block like this almost. Kind of an easy way to kind of get you guys there. Drawing has become a little bit, you know, has become more and more, you know, understandable for me over the years. But then when I try to teach it to people, that's when it becomes a challenge. Like, how can I show people how to do this and how to get the same result that I'm getting, you know? So if you guys go ahead and draw this kind of shape real quick, notice this block going off in perspective, you know, like this. So
it's a little blurry.
It's still blurry now? Okay, let me go ahead and change.
Well, it's at least the lag showed was a little blurry.
Okay, let me it's still blurry now. I can zoom out some. Is that a little bit better then? And y'all let me know how it looks then. So if you can't see it or have a problem seeing it. And then I'm gonna lightly erase this box. I have to take my kneaded eraser and just dab off the lead. Take it off.
I think it's better.
It's better then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then when I zoom out a little bit, it looks better? Okay, then. And y'all let me know if it's blurry or not quite there or something like that. And I'll go ahead and change it. I don't want you guys to just hear me babble and you can't see anything. So we're gonna bring her on the outside of that box will be her thumb, okay? It will come up here, over, and then down. And that's basically her thumb area. And you don't have to draw her fingernails or nothing like that. This drawing's not big enough for that. So, see there, and that's basically her thumb, all right? It just comes up and over and down. Nothing hard, nothing complex about it, but you see how where it is in relationship to that box. It stays on this side of the box, all right? And then her hands, her fingers are gonna kind of fit in that box. So her knuckles will come on the outside, and gonna draw her bigger knuckle for her middle finger, and then the ring finger and the pinky. So kind of just draw these like, you know, 4 humps. That's it. But you see how it is on the outside of the box? Those 4 humps. And then we're going to bring her fingers around here. Her pinky finger will not go all the way down to the bottom of that box. That's a little bit too far down. And she's a woman, so we're going to give her smaller hands. If this was a dude, then yeah, you give him the bigger hands. He's more masculine. But the woman, you don't do that. Okay? But then the center line that we had down for the box, that will serve as where the knuckles are on her hand. So we're going to kind of have, just bring them over here. Okay? And then they will kind of recede inward. And it depends on how much detail you want to put on her hands. It's up to you. But that box is kind of like a starting point for how you can get her hand in there. Okay. All right then. And the stick that we had, I'm going to have her holding a staff or something like that. She's holding like a spear or whatever. I'm going to just lightly just kind of just put one in there. You can put whatever kind of stick you want her to hold. She can be holding a lightsaber, a spear, a pitchfork. You can make her a villain, a hero, whatever you want. I'll leave that up to you guys, you know. So she can be holding whatever. Doesn't matter. So let me zoom out some so you guys can kind of see it better. Everybody follow along okay with that hand? Looking all right. And let's go ahead and kind of start working on her face then. See here. See here. Yeah, the face. Let's get that face going. Face should be pretty simple. Do you guys want to see a face tutorial, or do you want to see this body tutorial first, you know, in the academy? Let me know if you want to see a face tutorial or just the body, female body parts tutorial. Let me know. Female face or female body? Y'all let me know. And my wife will tell me. All right, then. So we got her down pretty much. So let's kind of go ahead and get her face and get her guidelines down for her nose. Let me go ahead and put her nose in there. Her nose will be very simple, guys. And that guideline that we drew, we're going to just have the butt part of her nose, the nostril, and then the outer nostril right there. And that's it, really. And she's at a 3/4 turn for us.
Everybody's saying body.
Body. Okay, then. That's good to know. Body,
Then
body,
face.
body, then face. All right, then. Good people have spoken. All right. And let's see here. I'm going to have her, let's get her on that eye line that we had earlier. Okay. I want to see what you guys see. Make sure I'm drawing it in your view. So on the eye line that we had earlier, we're going to put her eyes in there. And just kind of like a, you know, oval shape in there. And then put her eyelid almost like midway. All right. And then the other one, I kind of like to do the eyes together to make sure that they're both the same. I'm kind of cheating. I'm putting in her eyebrow over here. And then, but you want to make sure that it is along that same curved guideline, okay? Make sure her head is slightly tilted down, just ever so slightly, okay? And let me see, I want to put her eyeball in this one. And if I don't like it, I can always change it. I'm going to erase the lower part of her eyelid. And you can do eyes in many different styles. And let's see, I want to draw her other pupil. If I can get the pupils correct, and draw that almond shape over here as well. And have her looking in the same direction. Okay, I think I get it. I want to make that eye a little bit wider. There we go. I'm going to have her nose, it's going to be, it kind of curves and it curves into her eyebrow. There we go. I'm going to bring her eyebrow up. It's kind of touching her eyelid, and I don't want that at all. There we go. And then have her other eyelid, other eyebrow coming this way. Here we are. And I think we're looking good so far. Why is her eye not round? Drawings never work out the way you want them to. Who can testify to that? That they never work out the way you want them to.
People are saying it's a little blurry still, honey.
A little blurry? Okay, then. I'm going to zoom out some. If it's a little blurry, let me zoom out. That might make it look a little bit better. Okay. Now I'm going to try something real quick, guys. I'm going to put this light on it. It's going to be washed out, but just bear with me for a second. Yeah, that's too much light. So, okay. We'll add a little bit light so you guys can see it. Is that a little bit better, guys? It's the lighting situation where it doesn't allow me to get crisp, sharp focus on it. Let's see. And this is autofocus that I have it on right now. That's autofocus. I'm gonna turn that off because that can kind of mess with whenever my hand enters the screen. So, was it blurry before? Like when we did like some of the body parts, guys? Was it blurry?
It was like when you were getting really close, it seemed like that was when it was.
Oh, okay then. So I can't get super fine close then. All right then. That's good to know. Huh?
It was better when it was up. Hold on, maybe you should finish what you're doing.
Okay then. Zena's gonna let me know because she sees what you guys see.
That's fine. I think that's okay. Right,
she said it's better. Do you guys agree? A little better when I zoom out. It's a little bit better. I'm going to fix her eyelid on this side. Going to see more of her eye. There we go. I think that's better. Her eyebrow a little bit too long right there. Going to shorten it up some.
People are saying it's better.
Better now? Okay, then great. Fix the curve on her nose here. Just a simple, cute button nose. And there we go. I think I'm gonna have her eyebrow not touch her nose. That's better. And then let's see here. Now we're gonna put in her lips. And lips are pretty simple. Kind of start out with like the two bumps on the top. And then you have the bottom. And I won't put in too much detail with these lips. Just keep it simple. That's all. And then her head, gonna define that a little bit more. Still sticking with the center line, okay, guys? So I need to move her chin over some. If I'm sticking with that same center line that we established earlier, you always want to make sure you stay with your guidelines. As you can see, I come in a little bit for her eye socket and then come back out a little bit for her eyebrows. And I don't need to nicker and noodle this to death. You guys are all familiar with the basic contours of the head. Okay. And then her ear will go back here, but depending on what kind of hairstyle we give her. Okay, so thin neck, all right. And I see what the problem is. Why those eyes looked off. I drew her pupil kind of huge. Her right pupil was kind of too big. There we go. It was kind of bigger than her other pupil, than her left pupil. That's why eyes can be tricky. You want to draw them kind of together at the same time. All right. Now for the hair. Let's give her some hair, y'all. Give her some hair. So you can look up some models online and stuff like that. But starting out, her hairline starts up here at the top. Now, you don't want to make the mistake that a lot of people make and start drawing hair from the scalp. That is a no-no situation. You do not want to do that. Hair has volume. It has depth. It has, you know, body. So this is her scalp, all right? You don't want to start drawing hair from here and coming down from whatever from here. That's a no-no. You want to go ahead and kind of just draw, start above that. Just a little bit of space above that. And this is the line for her hair, okay? You want to kind of start from up here, all right? Some people go even bigger than that, all right? That's where you want to start at. Give her hair some body. So for her hair, we're going to kind of give her a little part in the middle. I'm going to have her bangs coming out. Start with her bangs coming up, and then we're going to kind of come down and cover her eye a little bit. So I'm going to erase her scalp, and you can kind of see her eye, her bang coming down. And then draw the strands originating from there, going in, and they're kind of covered up by that front hair piece. Then we're going to draw the other side, the other center of her hair, the other part of her hair. Okay. I'm going to zoom out some so you guys can kind of see a little bit more of how I'm doing her hair. And you can just play with it. I'm going to have it coming out, and then I'm going to kind of draw through her body here and have it coming around. And just have it long and flowing. Just have it long. I'm going to erase some of my guidelines that I had here previously. Never be afraid to draw through your drawing, okay? Giving her some long hair here. See, it looks good when it's long and flowing like that. Okay, just get some reference online And then take that hairstyle that you see from models and stuff online and just exaggerate it. Let your pencil, you just have fun. You just have to let your pencil just flow. Okay. And I'm going to break up a few strands here. I'll erase some of these over here on the side. We don't need the heads anymore for measurements because now it's just hair. Hair can be as long as it wants to be. There we go. I like that. Yeah, I like how that went through. Fix her arm there. Kind of erase that out. And these strands of hair that I have, make sure that these strands, like this short strand right here, make sure it sticks with the contour of the bigger strand. Okay, make sure it sticks with it. And this one coming on this side, and I'm going to have more of her hair coming out here. And you can give her blonde hair. Give her blonde hair, then she will have less detail in her hair. If you want to make her a brunette, and it'll just be darker, like here, and we'll leave the highlights in the top.
Ty is saying it's trying to look like an Amazoness type character.
Amazonian.
Yeah. Amazonian.
Yeah. Yeah, with the spear and everything. I mean, you can make her Xena, the warrior princess, you know. Or you can make her, you know, some barbarian type if you want, which is what the Amazonian type is. Yeah, whatever you want. I'm going to curl her hair here. And put a strand in the front right here. And you can just continue to play with it, okay? But make sure you have thick, long, flowing locks of her hair. You can be simple like a Disney-style princess and not have a lot of details. They can't have a lot of detail in those animations, in the 2D animations anyway, because they have to animate that stuff. But, or you can be as detailed as you want, like comic book style. Okay? So it all depends on what you want and how detailed you want your character to be. But take whatever reference you get and just exaggerate it. Exaggerate. But the biggest thing is make sure you start that hair away from the scalp, like I showed you earlier. Do not do it, you know, in front. I like it when her eye is slightly covered. It makes her look a little bit more, you know, mysterious and interesting. And hair does take a while to get the right shape that you want. So don't feel like if you don't get it right on the first try or whatnot. It does take practice. You don't draw like this overnight. Trust me. You know. And don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like mine. Like I said, you're going to have your own style, your own take on it. But as long as you follow the rough guidelines, you can do it. Like your legs may not be as long as mine a little bit, but as long as the proportions are there, then that's fine. That's all you need. I need to have her hair going a little bit better. You know, so yeah, she can be Amazonian, she can be whoever, you know. Erase some. I can knicker and noodle this thing to death, so I don't want to. We'll be here all day. But I just want to give you guys a rough place to start for your characters and things like that. And so, you know, and let me erase the inner parts of her body right there. But yeah, this is This is how it is. This is how you draw a sexy female character. I'm going to erase this inner part here, and we can put in some rough shadow under her chin there. I could shade her slightly. I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but just shade her slightly. And I can add in a few highlights on her. Not highlight, yeah, there will be highlights. I can erase out the highlights on her. You know, and then take the eraser, but you guys probably can't see that much on it. I can put a shine on her thigh, shine on her inner thigh right there. Shine would be on the front of her thigh here. Her abs, erase that out. Right there in front of her abs. On her breasts up here, erase that out. And you guys don't have to do this. I'm just putting her collarbone. I forgot that. So her collarbone real quick. You guys see that? I put that collarbone in her, on her chest, upper part of her chest. A little small dip on the center line, and then the two clavicle bones going out from there. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's about it right there. I'll put a small cast shadow underneath her breast here. And we're done, guys. We're done. This is it. This is it right here. We're done. Highlight on her arm right there. Highlight coming down on her arm over here. This is kind of like a shadow and value thing I'm doing now. So nothing big time. Let me zoom out so you guys can see her full body that I have here so far. And let me come down here. There we go. So I'll put in some more hard shadows so you guys can see what we have here. All right. Any questions so far about this? Did y'all have fun? Was this okay? Did you like it? It was cool. You know. Thanks for everybody who's sticking around. Who stuck around so far? How many people we got, Zena?
15.
15?
Left.
Okay, then. So,
and I actually, you might kill me, but I just told, with the first email I get that's sent to my email, right now, if they want to critique, they can send it to me right now, and I'll print it out for you to look at. But
okay, then,
if I don't get any in the next 1 minute or 2 minutes, we're closing out.
All right, then. So, yeah, that means they got to take a quick picture of it with their phones.
Send it right now.
With their iPhone. Yeah, so so guys, this is what you do. Go ahead and look at, you know, bikini models, okay, online. Look at, you know, swimsuit models. This is what you want to do. And that's all those comic book guys do, okay? They're not making up women off the top of their head, you know. They're, you know, really looking at bikini models and swimsuit models. Who was it? Well, anyone read the comic Witchblade? Who knows that comic book? Witchblade. Who knows Witchblade? Witchblade, Witchblade. Tell me, who knows Witchblade? By what was his name? Michael Turner. Okay, Rich knows it. Ryan. All right, then John. Okay, then. Cool, then. Kevin. All right, Witchblade by the artist Michael Turner. Guess, does anybody know what Michael Turner studied to draw Witchblade? He also did Fathom. Fathom, that comic. Does anybody know what he studied? He said this in certain interviews, and I met him in person way back in 1996. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at a Chicago Comic Con when I was in Chicago. Yes, he studied Victoria's Secret catalogs. That's how he learned how to draw his fine women, okay? And draw Sarah, what was Witchblade's character's name? I forgot. Sarah something. And then Fathom, he studied Victoria's Secret's catalogs, all those models and stuff like that. Big booty women. No, they're not big booty women, you know. Rich, I hear you, bro. But yeah, that's what he studied. He studied that stuff. So you can do the same thing, the same exact thing. But back in '96, Google didn't exist. So he had to look at catalogs and things online and stuff like that. So you guys can do, you have it even better than what Michael had. You had it even better. So you guys can go ahead and pull up bikini models, pull up swimsuit models, and just copy that stuff. First, start out by tracing it, okay? And that's how a lot of those artists start out. They start by studying it, by tracing it at first. And that's how I learned. I would look at models for days and whatnot, and stuff online and so forth. So you guys can do the same thing, you know. Sample of sexy fat women. Hey, then look up fat women in bikinis, Pablo. I hear you. Evan, who's your favorite female character? Ooh, that's hard, Jimmy. Favorite female character. Zena just gave me a printout of somebody. Who's this?
Ryan.
Ryan.
He's the winner.
He's the winner. Ryan, you are the winner. Come on down. The price is right. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, Ryan's pretty good, man. You did it, bro. This is good. You did it. I like how you changed it up. You got her arm going back behind her. Okay, you made it your own. You got the actual curve. You got the hips in there. Okay, that's diagonal. Her arms coming down here. Okay. Ryan, this is good, man. This is great. I would have her fingers coming out more. You can practice the hand, okay? So I won't concentrate on your hands too much, but you can practice the hands and stuff like that. You got her legs. You got the whole gesture coming down here. I like that. You can also bring this leg out further. I would bring it out slightly further. All right. And her foot right here, make this, let me zoom in some more so you guys can see it here. Okay, her foot right here is kind of wonky. I mean, her leg right here. Notice on mine, you have to make her, we're saying just the side of her leg here, okay? And we should also see just the side of her leg here on yours. So with the side, it's going to be coming back. This will be straight, okay? This will be straight. And let me get my other pencil, my pen here so you can kind of see it more. It will be like that, okay? So her foot should be more straight like this. And then coming back here, like that. And her foot, you can work on that foot detail later, but her legs should be like that more. It shouldn't be like you had it out here. That was too far out. The back should be curved and the front should be more straight, okay? Yeah, now we have this, her knee coming down, you got her hip in there. You can show the side of a little bit more of her hip coming out. Got her knee, then her leg will come out a little bit more. And notice how this is more of the front view of her leg that we have here. Let me zoom out, we can see it a little bit better. The front view of her leg here, and you want that to be front. I think you tried to show more of the side. So that's the part we want to see. I drew that too thick. I messed up. Where's my whiteout? This is going to be so ugly and whatnot. So I messed up. Now I got to see that. Wait for that to dry before I can show more of it. My bad. I messed up. But you see what I have so far then, Ryan. Just this part of her leg, and that will make it better. Okay? You got her crotch area in there. This is good, man. This is good. I like her hairstyle. It's more simplified and everything. I like that. Ryan, dude, you did it, man. I gotta wait for that to dry. Zena's giving me some more, guys. So let's take a look at it. Let me see what we got so far, Dan. So she's giving me some more. Y'all been sending me in quick, y'all. Y'all killing me.
This is it.
This is it. Ain't no more coming in. That's it. This is it, though. So,
this is from,
but post them in the group, guys. Post them in the group.
This is from Thomas. So is it Naeem? I'm not
Naeem?
Sure. Or it says the.
That's Naeem, man?
I don't know. I'm assuming so.
Okay, then. That's Naeem, man. All right, Naeem. We got you here, then, man. All right. Starting out, her head is okay. Let's see. You got her elbow. I mean, her arms, her shoulders. That should be more on this guideline. Her hips should come out a little bit more. Oh, yeah. And her foot, it crossed that line that we said it shouldn't cross. So if we were to make that line that we said earlier with her chest, starting at her chest, not where her boobs come out at, but where her actual rib cage is. We want to draw that line right here. I'm not sure if y'all can see that line or not. I'm going to use my blue pencil. I can probably see that a little bit better. I think that's better. Yeah. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So Naeem, her foot crossed that line, and that's a no-no. Her foot can't cross the line. So you want to bring that entire leg back some more, okay? Zena's laughing. Where are you laughing at, honey?
She's laughing. Said LOL. Naeem says LOL. It looks broke.
Looks broke. Yeah. She broke down. So you want to bring this leg back a lot more, okay? You want to bring this a lot more. Bring this back some, okay? And her chest, she's leaning too far ahead. Notice on this one that we have, her chest comes back. It leans back more. So you want to have her leaning back more. So her neck should be over here. Her rib cage right here. Okay? And her shoulders here. Okay? She needs to come back a whole lot more back. All right? And then she can come down here. So, but yeah, you want to first bring her entire, nothing should cross this, her body should not cross this vertical line right here. Okay? Then you can add in her breasts and stuff over here. And also, you drew this breast too small. It should match this one over here. All right? So, let's see here. So, but that leg right there is the biggest problem right here. This is where her center of gravity is. A lot of her weight rests on this leg right here. Okay? It rests on this leg. So you can see what I have right here on mine. This Captain Phasma's falling on my desk. So yeah, that's what you want. You want to go ahead and make sure that it comes back here. I'm gonna go ahead and darken in that line real quick so you can kind of see it and make the proper adjustments on your drawing. Okay, so right there you can see a big difference in there. Bring that line back. And then for her leg, okay, you want this to come out more. It needs to come out. Basically, it's the gesture line that you need in there. It can come further out. So here you really want to push the drawing more. Okay. Okay, and then we have her. You did a pretty decent job on her foot right there, but we're going to go ahead and make it even better. Okay. I don't want to come down that far, but let's see here. And her heel comes out here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with the pencil, come in here a little bit better, and with the marker, so you can kind of see my lines as they come across here. And make sure you can kind of see me in camera there. Okay. So you see, Naeem, this is how it should be. A little bit better. Looking at my original drawing here, even more. And then this is the center line, her breasts coming about right there. The other one about right here. Her arm coming down there and about here. Okay, and then her hand coming on her hip there. All right, that's what you want. But yeah, so that's where we are. Let me zoom out here a little bit more so you can kind of see it. And that gives you a much stronger pose right there. Okay, notice how this leg is smaller. This leg is bigger because it's coming out a little bit more towards us and stuff like that. All right, but the biggest problem he had was coming back here. Her torso was off then. So I guess we have one more. Who's this from, Zena?
That's from Francisco. He actually said he drew it before he joined the academy.
Oh, okay. Francisco. So her hand is coming behind her arm. I think it looks fine. This is a solid one. It's very solid. So she's bending back and she's shooting something from behind her hand, I mean from behind her back. I would bring this arm out a little bit more. You see her hand. I bring this arm out a little bit more. Let's see, trying to see what you were thinking here. And her foot's going off in the distance. Yeah, this one's solid. I love to see you know, go further with it, but make sure you draw on the knees, okay? You're not drawing the knees in there. Draw the knees in there. So she has to have her knees. I would push the back leg a little bit more. Well, I mean the front leg.
She's a witch.
A witch? Okay, then. Francisco, I would push the front leg a little bit more. Yeah, this front leg. Yeah, so let me see here so you can kind of see what I'm thinking. You want that S curve in the leg, that S curve that we spoke of earlier. You really want that in the leg. So. Yeah, I would even go further than that with it. I would go even further back. Yeah, I would go further back with it. I would go like this. I would go further back with it. So let me get my thicker black Sharpie so you can kind of see what I'm doing on it here. I'm just drawing a silhouette of how her leg should be. Yeah, I would do her leg like that. All right. You see that? So I would make this, all this black right here, her leg. I would make that even further. I push it even further and whatnot. So yeah, let that be her leg. You know, so all right then. I just ruined this drawing. I just put the black Sharpie on this. Silly.
He said he has problems with the right arm.
The right arm then. Yeah, the right arm. Look at what pose are you going for? Like, what are you basing this off, Francisco? What's the what is she supposed to be doing? Like, I mean, if someone's reaching behind their back, then I would almost want to like have her hand come up. You know, I almost want to have her hand come up like this, her elbow come up. So, you know, or to make it exaggerated, yeah, I would have her hand come further out. You know, and have her hand come up like this. So Have her arm come further out like this. I would do that.
He means from the right hand and the right arm, sweetie.
His right arm. Oh, I'm
where
looking at the
she's
other
shooting.
one. Okay, then.
Yeah.
You need reference for that. You need some serious reference for that, then. Because that's an awkward position.
So have somebody take a picture of
You
somebody
need someone
doing it.
to pose in this position for you, because that's an awkward. No one knows how to draw this. No one does. So you have to go ahead and, like, I mean, is she shooting something? Like,
Yeah, that's what he said.
I
She's
mean,
shooting something.
So her hand would be wrapped around like this, and her thumb would be up here. Her hand would be wrapped around her fingers. Yeah, that's how that would be. Yeah, her fingers would be wrapped around here. Her thumb would be up here. You know, what you definitely need for an awkward position like this is reference. No artist knows how to draw this off the top of their head. And this arm, I would have this extend out more this way. Have her thumb come up and her hand come down like this. Okay. Yeah, but you definitely need, ask your wife, your girlfriend, your sister, your female coworker, whoever it is, to get a broom and to get in this pose right here, okay? And take a picture of them at this exact angle, all right? Take a picture of them so you can kind of see how it is and whatnot like that. And remember, guys, reference is going to be your best friend, all right? Reference is your best friend. You have to know how to use reference to, you know how things look. No one is born knowing how to draw all this stuff. No one is. You have to have reference and see how this stuff looks and everything then. So, yeah, guys, that's our female. That's our female then. And so it's been a good hangout, y'all. Any last minute questions, anything like that? Last minute questions, anybody? We are here. Thanks for everybody who joined in, and is we'll have these every month, okay? Is Eric in here?
Eric?
Eric, yeah, Eric, you in there? Eric, are you here, man?
Mm-hmm.
Are you here, Eric? I know Eric really wanted to know when the next hangout was, so we're here now, Eric. Also, guys, there's one part in here I want to show you all. I forgot to mention. Right where her breast comes over, it meets that crease in her arm right here. Let me move up some so you can kind of see that. So right where the corner of her breast comes over, it meets that crease. It kind of has that, you don't draw that full line, you don't connect it, but it meets the crease in her lower shoulder right here. Yeah. Eric, I guess he's not in here then. Okay.
He hasn't said anything.
Okay, then I thought Eric was here then. I know he really wanted to know when the next hangout was. So yeah. All right then. And I know Jimmy, you want to know how to draw women, so this is it, Jimmy. Y'all practice this and whatnot then. So take a look at that. And yeah, guys, and the last minute questions. Thanks for hanging out then, y'all.
Everybody's saying thank you and still need to practice some more.
Yeah,
emails.
practice. Yeah, practice. But this will give you a good start. This is a quick win for you guys. Guys, I want you to draw this and post it in the group. I want to see your version of your own costume. All right, I want to see your costume of this character.
I'm gonna type that.
Yeah, type it in there, Zena. Yeah,
Post
so
your email.
Design a costume for her. Put a costume on her. Okay, so put a costume on her. So one, put a costume on her, and two, post it in the group. All right, put a costume on her. I want to see the costume on how it looks. Give her a costume, all right? You can make her hold, I don't know, a lightsaber in that kind of pose, but it would have to go all the way down to the bottom of the ground because she's kind of resting on that. Post it in a group, all right? So put a costume on her. Design your own costume. Make it up. I don't care, you know. Make up somebody. Doesn't have to be an existing character. Doesn't have to be Wonder Woman or a Jedi. Make up your own character. But these are your guidelines. So okay, these are your guidelines for the female character for you to have. Then just use this, and now you guys have a win. You can go ahead and draw this female character and use all the guidelines. You can watch this video again. Zena will go ahead and just put the link to this video in the Cartoon Block Academy. Under what page will it be?
Under Live Hangouts.
It'll be under the tab Live Hangouts. Okay, so only you guys in the Academy have access to this. So yeah, guys, go ahead and put a costume on her, give her, change up the hairstyle, do whatever you want to do with her. All right, but now you have a quick win. All right, put a costume, make up your own costume, put gadgets on her, whatever you want. Okay, do something. But now you guys can draw a sexy woman. All right. I've shown you guys how to draw a sexy woman. So going forward, you guys want to see more body parts, right? Yeah. As opposed to before you saw face.
And then, yeah, later face. But first
faces and whatnot then. Okay. Real quick, what body parts do you want to know how to draw? Let me know. Is it the arms, the boobs? Is it the legs, the hips? What is it you want to know how to draw? Tell me real quick in the comments below as I sip some coffee. Yeah.
Andy says legs. Ryan says legs.
Legs. Okay. Legs. Legs. All right then.
Legs.
Legs. Okay then. That's good to know. That's good to know. So legs is legs, and
arms and legs.
Y'all own legs. Okay. Arms, legs, hips. Okay then. So legs is like it. That's what it is then.
Torso.
Torso. Okay then. Torso. I can do that then. All right then. Well, that's good, guys. No the last minute questions, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Y'all, we 2 hours and 15 minutes in this thing, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. Sounds like everybody did. Yeah. So everybody enjoyed it and it went well. So that's good. We'll switch back over to my lovely face. Let me switch my camera around and FaceTime cam. Save. There we go. I'm kind of dark. Zena, can you turn the light on real quick? There we go. So a little bit light. Yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks for hanging out then. And this was our first Academy Hangout just for the members. And if y'all have more ideas and stuff that you want to see, you know, in the Hangout, just let me know. You know, leave it in the comments in the Facebook group. And you guys have been leaving some pretty good artwork in there as well. So thanks to everybody who's been cool. And good start for my morning. What time is it where you are, Ray? But yeah, you guys have been leaving some good some good artwork in the Hangout and stuff like that. And let's just continue that then. And I'll see y'all next month. But I want to see your drawing in the group. All right, in the group. Go ahead in the Facebook group and go ahead and throw it on in your Instagram and hashtag it Cartoon Block Academy. So go ahead and do that. Hashtag Cartoon Block Academy. And I just got on Instagram myself, so bear with me. You know, Kevin, you helped get me in there, and Andy Manley kept harassing me to get it then. But Kevin, your comment kind of pushed me over the edge and made me get one then. So shout out to you, bro. But yeah, hashtag it Cartoon Block Academy. Put it on your Instagram, and then also yeah, drop it in the Facebook group, and I want to see what you guys come up with. All right. Till next time. Peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Zena saying goodbye and deuces.